Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with our next guest. A lot of inspiration coming your way. We're here with Melvin Cole. He is the founder of Pure Youth Athletic Alliance. And Pure is an acronym, so we'll dive into what that stands for. But let's start. Melvin, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Jeremy. How about yourself?
Doing good. So let's start. One, what does Pure mean? Let's start there, and then we'll tell your story. So give us the acronym for Pure.
Yeah. So PURE stands for Progressing Under Restraints and Extremes.
And I think that will set the stage for what we're going to talk about is Under Restraint and Extremes. And so let's start with your storyline. Give us the story that starts this, and it starts with a promise to God. So give us a little bit of your story.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of headed down the wrong track and found myself in prison. So I kind of witnessed some things in prison that only God can get me out of and away from. So that was in my cell. I kind of made a pact with God. If he got me out of that situation, I was going to commit the rest of my life to saving young men back in Memphis that look like me.
And you grew up in Memphis, so you know Memphis very well. This is your hometown, correct?
Absolutely.
So when you talk about this passion of helping youth in your hometown and the promise to God, walk us through, because now you've been doing this for over 10 years. So give us a little bit of history lesson for Pure.
Absolutely. So it first started off just a little league team trying to just kind of help kids out. And there was kind of a loophole with me growing up, never having the chance to play little league football. And once we went from there, it was an after school program to kind of help with the education. And that's when we found out that a lot of our kids was scored in a 0 percentile on reading and writing. So I closed down my for-profit company and turned it into a homeschool tutorial for a group of kids where we hire teachers. We have volunteers who just kind of focus 24/7 on their education. So we had some kids move in for various reasons, whether it be gang related, just more structure and development, home life situation. It was a various melting pot of kids. So we just kind of worked this theory of if you put kids in a nurturing environment, they'll reach their full potential like any other kid. So we began to see the success on the academic side where our first year, the kids had a 3.7 grade level jump. And we just kind of noticed the success of this, and we kind of watched the character development, and the athletic side will start gaining college and university athletic scholarships. And then these kids started to hit the college benchmarks on the ACT score. So that's where we knew that we had something that worked and that was real and that was tested.
And when you look at this combination of athletics, academics, even agriculture that ties into their nutrition, character development, these are all the things that you're honing in on, but you're doing it in an environment, like you said, that's nurturing. And so you're pulling them out of an environment where in many cases, sadly, they're dealing with a lot of just life struggle, and you're putting them into a nurturing environment focused on all of these things and bringing, like you said, the mentorship, the support network in place to get these results. Talk about what you're seeing in terms of that character development side, the jump, the confidence that these young men are building. So talk about what you're seeing play out with their transformation in their life.
You know what? It's almost like a caterpillar to a butterfly when you're able to restore these young men's confidence, their distorted thinking patterns, and just show them a different way of life and expose them to different things. Because a lot of these kids haven't been past their neighborhood. So to be able to be exposed to different things and just open their mind, sit up and watch them learn and grow. I mean, it's truly a blessing for God to even allow me to be a part of. And that's really the job, you know what I mean? To see a kid that one day was scared to read out loud and now he's leading the reading session in class, or he's making a 27 on the ACT in the reading. I mean, those are the things that keeps it going and allows for that success and that confidence with those kids.
Growing up, I played tennis, and it was always one of those where you could see the players who were really dedicated with the sport. And so they would go to academies and they would play tennis in the morning, go to school, and then tennis in the afternoon. And I think very much what you're doing is, you know, you look at Olympic athletes very same model of really kind of taking an academy approach, a very specialized approach. And in many cases, that's exactly what you're doing, is you're taking kind of an academy approach of bringing in the robust classroom experience, but really fine tuning and focusing on the character development, but the athletics. Talk about what a typical day is like. Kind of walk us through for the students what a day is like there.
Absolutely. I'll go back to your first point. It's definitely a academy where you want to be able to groom these guys, because at the end of the day, we're fighting generational poverty with kids in Memphis being double the national average in generational poverty and generational food hardship. So our whole thing is to create first generational college graduates. And the best way to do that is through athletics. And another thing what athletic does is it gives these kids instant gratification. You, me, and everybody that's listening, we all want instant gratification. But at the end of the day, we understand that the delayed gratification is the best. So athletics gives this opportunity of the kids to have the best of both worlds. So typically a day at Pier, the kids will wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning and they'll start with a pre-workout snack. Some may choose yogurt, some may get banana, peanut butter, and jelly. And then we'll start out into our daily workout. And that's for two reasons. Number one is to get them, their bodies and their hormones going and jumping, because study shows that's the prime time of learning. Anytime you got your body going, blood flowing and full of juices. And the second part is to have them prepared for college. You and me and everybody who's been a former college athlete, a lot of guys lose their scholarships and their spot simply because they can't wake up in the morning on time, and they can't balance being able to go into bed at night and different things like that. So we get our boys up, we get the workout going. Once they get the workout going, then we have a breakfast for them, then they shower and they get ready for class. So they do class from 10 o'clock to 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then after then, we go into another football workout where we're on the field, maybe doing speed or agility or skill specific drills, different things like that. So we'll come in, shower, have dinner. Depending on the night, we'll have either a mental conditioning class or we'll have a team building class. And then we give them a little time to kind of hang out, congregate with each other, talk on the phone to their friends and family and all of the above. Because what a lot of people don't know about Peer is this is a program where it's agreeable with the family and the kids. So it's not like these are bad kids coming from the court or they just these horrible kids. It's more of a prevention than an intervention. It's more like, let's stop them before they get there and provide them with the opportunities and the resources that they need. So then lights out at 10, and then we kind of started all over again Monday through Friday. And we have some kids who go home on the weekend, and we have some kids that live on campus 24/7.
When you look at the success you're having, you're getting national attention for some of your players. And I look at Tevin Carter, where the quarterback top rated in the nation, pro style quarterback. Give us a little bit of just what you're seeing on the athletic side, and then we'll talk about the big number you're hitting on the academic side. But give us some of the cool storylines on the athletic side for the students.
Tevin, he's worked pretty hard. Tevin is actually probably the oldest kid that's been in our program, and we kind of worked through different positions with him growing up. And then probably maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, we kind of honed in on the quarterback spot, and it just kind of fit his personality, being a leader. Then obviously his body type, and then God has kind of blessed him with a pretty good arm. So he's able to grab that attention on a national scale, just being able to do the things he can do with the football, his leadership, and just being a student of a game and committed to his craft and his fundamentals of getting better every day. And just like we spoke earlier about that academy, Tevin had another kid, Chris Morris, to kind of push him. Before then, Chris was the number one guard in the country that ended up going off playing in the Under Armour All-American game and going to University of Texas A&M. So that was kind of the whole thing, is we wanted like-minded kids around each other to kind of push. and Tevin just kind of taking that to the next level. And with him playing quarterback, he just kind of honed it all in and kind of put his head down. So I think a lot of his success on the football side was him knocking out his ACT score early and hitting those college ready and being on grade level where he can kind of put some extra focus on his fundamentals and his film study.
Talk about 100% graduation rate.
That's the one thing about our kids. If our kids if they complete the program, they'll graduate. That's one of the things that we brag about the entire time. If a kid completes this program, he's going to graduate and he's going to receive a college scholarship somewhere. So that's why we was able to have our number one graduation rate, our number one college placement. And our mentoring program is huge, where we have kids that's already went off to college in our mentoring program. And myself, other peer students, board members continue to wrap their arms around them. So that's why we was able to have that success of 100% college graduate as well. It's just a whole holistic approach, because just like anybody that has kids and kind of went through that college phase, kids are kind of at that independent, dependent stage. So they can either make it or break it. Still, it's just another level to it. So we kind of created our mentoring program to have that full wraparound approach. And that's really what's led to our success.
When you look at COVID and the pandemic, it really forced you to pivot and think creatively, because all of a sudden, many of the students didn't have a football season. And so you did something very creative on your end. Talk about what you did to be able to really enable these young men to still play the sport that they love.
The biggest thing when the news broke about these kids not having a football season, I instantly thought about the loss of opportunity to be able to earn college scholarships. And I felt that directly, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, creating first generational college graduates. So I reached out to my board and my staff and my volunteer, and I said, hey, I want to create a football team to kind of help these kids out and kind of help the city out, because we was kind of getting a lot of bad publicity with our kids not playing. So I just kind of wanted to help everyone out. And then with the support of my board and volunteers, they just kind of gave me the confidence and encouraged me to do the things that I needed to do to get everything done. So we ended up hosting a tryout. We ended up keeping about 35 kids, 40 kids off of that team. And we was able to play against really the cream of the crop of the football side here in Memphis with Christian Brothers and MUS and Brockers. So that was a great experience for those kids to be able to get quality film. And at the end of the day, an opportunity to gain a free college education. So it was a great success. And it just kind of led into the motivation and the momentum to keep it going and kind of go into next season and the upcoming season, because it kind of launched our day program where we allowed some kids to come in without being boarders to take advantage of the opportunity of athletics in our education program with our agriculture.
Yeah. Talk about how the community can help. How can we help you?
Well, I like to tell people I got my 3 T's on how you can help. The first one is treasure. Obviously, we're always needing financial support with the holistic approach that we take with these kids on boarding and non-boarding and everything you take. And then talent, a lot of professional services that kind of can eliminate those costs in our budget or things that we need to do to take to the next level. And the last one is time, just volunteering, exposing these kids to different things, maybe just helping them out. So that's the 3 ways people can help. We always like it, the 3 T's, treasure, time, and talent.
What has this done for you? Because obviously you've come a very long way in terms of your promise to God, but you can already see just in the interview, like the way you carry yourself, the way you talk about the success of the students and the passion that you exude. So how has this changed you?
The crazy part about it is this is saved my life just as much as it saved the kids' life. I mean, and I won't hide from the truth and the numbers. A lot of people know 85% of people that offend re-offend. So this is kind of something that's able to kind of kept me focused and develop me and taking me to places that I didn't know that it was imagining from a little kid from the ghetto. So I mean, it saved me just as much as it saved the kids.
So wrap up with where we can go to learn more. So your website, contact information, where do we go to learn more about Pure Youth Athletic Alliance?
You can visit us on our website at www.pureyouth.org. You can follow our Facebook page or our Instagram at Pure Youth Athletic Alliance. You can always email me at Melvin Cole at pureyouth.org.
Well, Melvin, greatly appreciate all you and your team do. Amazing, and definitely wish you all the more success ahead. So thank you for all you do and for coming on the show.
Perfect. Thank you.